Hello, everyone. Welcome to Financeology 101. Class is now in session. The information provided during this podcast is just that, information. You will need to do further research to address your specific situation. Enjoy the session.
This is Gifted Generations LLC. We are presenting today's check-in, what happened to GameStop, and also talk a little bit to G Hardy about some of his life experiences and where he is now and how did he get to this point in his life. So G, the first thing I want to say, welcome. Thank you for taking out some precious time. I know you young millenniums, you guys out in the world these days, but now with COVID-19, you're kind of on lockdown. So you're really not out in the streets. You're not doing your own thing. You're slowing down a little bit. So G, take a few minutes and tell us a little bit about you.
Okay, cool. First, I'd like to say thank you for having me on your show, for just to have a voice to, share with your listeners on the things that I've learned throughout my tenure of life so far. And secondly, I would just like to say thank you to all my supporting cast too that got me here. Without y'all, I would not be here, and I'm truly grateful for everything.
Awesome. Great. So G, I want to talk to you about, we could get to the stock stuff, but let's build up to that because you didn't come out going to stocks. There was the path that got you there. So I want to talk to you about your generation thinking of savings, budgeting, and what tools do you use? Talk about the highs and the lows of your life. Can you start there and maybe build to where you are right now?
Yes, I would love to. That's actually a great question. Far as my generation, what we think about saving, it's something that's not seen in the light. A lot of people around my age or younger, or even
And
some people older
what's
than
your
me.
age? What's your generation? What's your age generation? Let me
Oh, I'm
ask you that
23 years
because
old, by the
okay,
way.
okay.
So actually, let me introduce myself first before I go into detail about my saving habits and where I'm at mentally today. My name is Greg Hardy. I am from Durham, North Carolina, born and raised. Um, I attend North Carolina A&T University now. I used to attend
Okay.
East Carolina University, where I pledged Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated. There, I became the pole mark of the Eta Psi chapter, and through that experience, I learned a lot about leadership. I learned a lot about how to make money. I learned a lot about how to delegate duties so that a collective group can come together and fulfill tasks.
Okay.
With all that knowledge, especially of being the president, I understood that to make it successful in life, I had to understand how to save, right? And this is something that, the habit of saving is not a topic that's well talked about throughout a lot of African American families. So that road to discovery is essentially a road by yourself. You have to really
Wow.
find it yourself. You have to find the tools and the means to understand how to save for yourself because, again, it's just something that's not taught throughout generations. So understanding that principle and understanding that I really want to be successful in life, I understood the first thing I need to do is learn how to manage my money that I already have, right? Although it may not be a lot, I can still learn how to manage it. So that way, when I do walk into that life, I have that same type of knowledge guiding me along the way.
Okay.
So to piggyback off that, savings, a lot of people, especially around my age, which is 23 and lower, they do not think about saving, right? It's not something that is seen in the light, right? When you think about budgeting, it's something that, again, something that's used as a term that seems to attach negative energy to it, right? When you think about budgeting, it normally attaches a negative type of feeling to it, a feeling that you have to pretty much suppress whatever you want in your desires so that you can maintain a healthy financial relationship with your money.
Wow. So, like I said, I commend you for just coming on because this sometimes can be a very difficult topic. And as you said, in the generation, our generation, our homes, the black homes, it's not a spoken word per se. It's something that's probably it's seen as taboo. And what we're trying to do is Financeology 101 is to change the theme, change the tone, or how we are addressing these kind of things. And listen to people like you, your generation. You're what, millennium, Generation X? What are you?
I'm
What are
Generation
you?
Z, I believe.
Yeah, Z. See, got so far down the alphabet, you the last one. I hope that God knows there's no more. It's gonna be Z. Then I thought Z8 and ZB. Who knows what's next? They come with all kinds of terminology. So for you, I've been knowing your mom for a long time, and we talk about finances a lot. And I commend her for just being open with the process to where she wants to be. And we always talk about vision. So at what point in time, did you realize I need to change what I'm doing now to be successful? And I call it financing your future. When did you say to yourself, I need to change the way I'm doing things to learn the tools of the trade so I can start financing my future to have a better outcome? Did you go to your
Um,
moms and your dads? Did you go to friends? Did you use the app? What changed it from you and when?
That's actually a wonderful question. I'm glad you asked. What changed for me was pretty much understanding that at an early age in life, what I wanted was a Corvette. Just to
Oh,
give you a
you
little
want the
backdrop about
hot
myself.
rod. You want the hot
Ever since I
rod,
seen
okay?
a yes, ever since I seen a Corvette, it was pretty much love at first sight. I came back home one day, told my mom that that is something that I really wanted to get. I was trying to find a means and ways to get it. And as the years go on, as the dollar inflates, of course, the price inflates as well. So that vision throughout my life started to get further and further. It seemed as if it was further and further impossible. So I realized that again, after I became the pole mark, that not only could I do things, but also that I was a leader amongst leaders, right? So understanding that I was a leader amongst leaders, that means I had to take control of my life, right? So after my tenure of the presidency or being the pole mark of my chapter, I realized that now it's time to devote time to myself, right? Time to my personal development, time to make sure that I can afford that Corvette in the future. So it all began when I first started trading, right? When I first started trading, and pretty much put into perspective, okay, this is where all the money that they say all the white people make is out here, right? This is where all the money is. So now that I know where all the money is, it's like, okay, I need to focus my mind in this area alone while I still pursue my degree. So, throughout that tenure and that time just learning about trading, learning about the word around trading, my why started to develop, right? My why, like why was I doing this? Or why was I doing that? Like why could I still get up despite the fact that I was losing money? Or why could I still, continue to push myself forward, continue to learn, continue to have that initiative to, reach for my potential. And that was really what drove me, my why. You know,
Okay.
that's literally the thing that gets me going every morning. After I wake up, that's the reason why I go the extra mile in everything I do. Is because I know why I'm doing it. I want to do it not just for the simple fact that I want, a Corvette. I'm also doing the simple fact for the, for the fact that I want to put my family in that prediction in that position to where we're not having to worry about financial troubles, right? We're not having to worry about nothing financial because I figured it out at an early age.
Wow, G, that's a lot. So you start talking about the stock market and day trading. How did you really get into that?
So how did I get into day trading? It's actually,
Yes.
it's actually by fate, really. After my birthday, my 22nd birthday, at the time there was a thing called IML, which was this program that pretty much would go out and find people that wanted to learn how to trade, and you would have to pay a certain
Hmm.
membership fee every month, right? But if you were to recruit people, then you would not have to pay that fee, and you could actually like get a residual income plan. So what after that, I pretty much started that, and from there, I realized that I didn't really want to tell people about it. I really didn't want to have to, go out here and try to find people, so I wouldn't have to pay my membership fee. So after a month of that, I just went on a completely independent route. I just started reading more, started watching more videos, started, just trying to find that useful information that I needed to make myself successful. So really, the start, it's just about again finding your why. Like, do you want to know how to trade? Because again, the trading, you can work from home, you can work anywhere you want to, as long as you have Wi-Fi. So, what is your why for it? Like, do you want extra money? Do you want to be able to go on vacation? Like, what is your why? Because, to get into the world of trading, you gotta understand that trading is essentially one word, and that's just risk, right? And if you're afraid of risking anything in life, then trading is not for you, right? Because you have to risk money to make money.
Yeah. Okay. So I have a question out here from Coach OG. She is a dynamic speaker. So we'll go ahead and put this shameless plug out there. She's going to be on the podcast on Monday, 8 o'clock. She's going to be speaking at 8 o'clock on Monday on a podcast show, Finance Ology 101. So thank you, Coach OG, for joining. She asked, how did you recommend someone start trading? You got into day trading. And we know there's all kinds of trading, Wall Street kind of trading. If someone wants to get into day trading, we know that there's apps like that, Robinhood, E-Trade, stuff like that. What did you recommend if I
Mhm.
want to get started to get involved in that area of things? There's a term called, and you can correct me, is dollar cost analysis, dollar cost savings, where you put the same amount every month into an account, and then you buy a portion of a stock until you get that fully funded amount to buy the entire stock. So if the stock is $100, I'm putting $25 in every month, and they'll buy a portion of the stock at that current rate. And then once I get enough to cover that whole stock amount, I own one whole portion of that stock. So I know about that a little bit, but what do you suggest? I mean, you got people out there saying, I want to get into trading. I saw GameStop. I want to make some of this money. What do I need to do to get some of that?
So the first thing I would say is seek the wisdom, right? It's because I say seek the wisdom because what happened with GameStop is going to essentially happen with a multitude of other stocks, right? That was just the first one, and pretty much just the first one. That means something's going to follow as well. I say seek the wisdom first because you have to understand what it is that you're investing your money into. You have to understand what it is that you really want to do with investing, right? You have to, like I said, you got to understand your why, because if you lack wisdom in the stock market, then you will lose money, right? Because the stock market and even
Mm,
the foreign exchange market is pretty much emotionally based ran, right? Which means that everybody, there is no difference between me and anybody else that wants to trade money on the stock market, right? We all look at the same screen. We all see the same thing. So that means, how can I make money if we're all looking at the same thing when only 10% are actually successful traders, right? Out of 100%, only
wow,
10% of,
10%?
yes,
Wow.
only 10% of our are only 10% are successful traders. So you have to ask yourself, how can I get into that 10%? Right? Well, let's think about what the 90% does. The 90% is not willing to seek advice. They're not willing to get wisdom. They're just wanting to make money, right? Quick, easy money, right? But understanding that, yes, you might get your beginner's luck, and yes, you might make money without the knowledge and the wisdom that you need. But with the wisdom and the knowledge that you will obtain, you will surpass whatever level that you're thinking that you can attain right now, right? Because like I said, the stock market it's a skill, right? It's a lifelong skill, and you want to just develop the skill day in and day out. So the best way to start is just go on Google and just look up, hey, what does investing mean, right? Understand, what does it mean to
Okay.
invest? What is it like? Understand the difference between the stock market and then the foreign exchange market, right? Because you don't have
Okay.
to just trade in the stock market. You can trade in the foreign exchange as well, right? You have to really understand that investing is a completely different
Ball game.
it's a
Okay.
completely different world. Just like in every type of occupation, right? There's always a world of things that go into it that a lot of people don't know about, right? Sports industry, your GM,
Mm,
like, you can go on a list on how many people that is involved in, fulfilling a sports team, right? It's the same type of concept, but you have to apply it to trading, and as a trader, you have to understand that it's just not you trying to make money on the stock market. And if this is where all the money is being made, that means that it's some people with a lot of money trying to make more money, right? And
yeah,
they're
that's
going
true.
to try to trick you so that you lose money and they make money.
Yeah. So it's fascinating and also funny and ironic when you said it's the long game. And at 22, you saying it's a long game. It's not the short game that's going to get you there. So it's good to hear a 22-year-old man saying, "Hey, I'm young, but I'm getting in earlier so that I can be in it for a long time and be successful down the road." So I got two questions. I got a question here, but I'm gonna ask this question in a second. So you talked about going online and doing a lot of Googling and stuff like that. Suppose somebody say, you know what, I don't want to do all that. There are seminars out there. There are, sessions that I want to attend. Do you recommend someone gives a beginning course? Our course is called Finance Ology 101. Let's say it could be Stock Market 101. Would you recommend taking those kind of courses online? Of course, it's going to be online nowadays because of COVID.
Hmm.
What is your suggestion as far as someone saying, I've gotten some wisdom, but this is not enough. I need some coaching. Just like in finances, it's about coaching. Finding someone who's going to mentor you and coach you. Stock market is the exact same way from what you're saying. You need to find someone who's
Exactly.
going to mentor you and coach you. So I've done that. I got some knowledge, but it's still over my head. I see a course online. Do you suggest and recommend those kind of things?
That's actually a great question, and I'm glad you asked that. Again, you have to understand that the knowledge that you want to find, you have to, if you don't possess it, that means you have to find somebody that does, right? So if you want to become successful in trading and you know people that are successful in trading, first hit them up, right? See what journey they
Okay.
went down, see what books they read
Okay.
before you invest in such a program that might cost you $350, right?
Whoa.
Because
Okay.
the reason why I say that is because at my age, I don't have that type of luxury to invest into those type of programs or mentorship. So I had to get
Okay.
mine myself. And I
Okay.
can only speak from that experience. But
Okay.
I say that to say this though, that to find a mentor is probably one of your best bets, right? Because again, they've already experienced everything that you're about to experience. They've already experienced all the losses. They've already experienced the countless psychology game that's been played, with making money. So the best thing about having a mentor is that they're going to teach you everything that they did to make themselves successful rather than the things that they did to lose. And you can use that information to understand that, hey, this guy made this mistake. So now I understand that, hey, I don't need to make that mistake. Even though I'm still gonna make mistakes as I progress my journey along trading, I just don't have to make the same mistakes that guy made. You see what I'm saying? So
I
a
do.
mentor
I
is
do.
very valuable in any walks of life. As far as just your personal development, whether
Okay.
it's learning a skill or a trait, having a mentor is something that's essential. And most of my mentors are from my books that I read.
Okay. Oh, wow. So you do have a mentor. So you said mentors with an S, which means you have more than one.
Yes,
Is that
I mean, if you
okay?
want to count the authors of my book mentors, then yes, I haven't met any of them, but
Okay.
I like to imagine that they're having a conversation with me when I'm reading the books.
Okay. So do you have anybody at all that you interact with as far as that those kind of wisdoms, like a face-to-face person, somebody you can call like, hey, let me call up my boy Earl. He got the skills to pay the bill. That's my sign right there, y'all. Let me talk to him because he may have some information before I make a bad decision. How do you know when not to pull a trigger on something because you don't have that interaction? I mean, you flip the page 34 of the book and say, it says don't right here. Where do you get that interaction? If you're just reading books and you don't have that one-on-one, what makes you say, yes, do this or no, I should not?
What makes me, oh, that's actually a great question as well. What makes me be able to, say that confidently is because I've already experienced the failures of it, right? And that's why,
Okay.
something I do too as well, even though I've been trading for roughly a year and 6 months now, I teach other people, about the foreign exchange market, how to make money in the foreign exchange market, how to understand market psychology,
Well, then how do we
supply and
make money?
demand.
Okay, well, share with us. Well, how do we make some of that money?
Or, if you want to go further in detail about that, I'm more than welcome to talk about it,
Oh,
because I don't
it sounds like
mind
it's a whole
teaching.
lot. It sounds like it's a whole
Yes.
lot. It's probably a different show, a 5 hour show. So we don't have 5 hours. We got probably like 5 to 50 minutes here. So go ahead, carry on.
So yeah, so I've already experienced what a lot of traders will experience in this year and a half, really, because again, I just pretty much, I expect so much of myself when I do anything in life. So I came with the expectations of, I'm gonna just hit home run. Well, I didn't hit
Okay.
home run for about a year, right? So I
Okay.
experienced a whole lot of losses, but throughout each loss, it wasn't really a loss, right? It's more so a lesson that led me down this road of personal development. And that's why I
Okay.
say it's very important to understand personal development if you want to,
Okay.
become successful in trading, because 95% of what you see in the market is emotionally based. That means that
Mm.
95% of what you see in the market is determined on how you feel, right? It's not about your
Okay.
strategy. It's not about nothing of that. It's just about how you feel. So how do you feel? Like if you feel like making money, then you can make money. Like attract likes.
Okay. So people get on the same bandwagon when they see something going a certain way, whether up or down. They want to jump on that bandwagon to be a part of that, either gains and jump off when there's losses. So let me ask you another question. Do you mentor at all? Do you actually mentor other people? Now I heard you said you've been in for a year, 6 months, and you try and bring other people along. that's working with them. But do you actually mentor people where they say, "Hey, G, I need some tips"? Do you
Yes.
do you mentor people like that?
That's a great question as well. And yes, I do mentor people. Like I
Free?
said, for free.
Is it
Yes,
free?
I mentor
Okay.
people for free because again, the knowledge that I got was for free. And
Okay.
again, the only way to truly become a master of something is to teach it. So that's why I'm
Okay.
freely teaching it. If
Okay.
like I said, if you want to learn it, feel free after this to get my email or something to contact me. But I definitely do value teaching because again, I want to become the best version of this that I possibly can be of myself. So I
Okay.
have to share the knowledge that I have, or I will lose it.
Okay. So another question came in is that is there a minimum amount you would recommend to start your day trading or any kind of like Robin Hood? I mean, if what do you think? Is it like, hey, I got $1,000, I'm gonna give $1,000? Oh no, don't do that. Just start here. Is it give what you can or give everything you can? What is your recommendation for a starting
That
amount?
that's a great question as well. To start out is it's pretty much a question that all pretty much gets directly rooted to how you feel in the moment. Again,
Hmm.
as a college student, I really don't have too much funds to play with, so I start everything I start out with is little, right? But that's the beauty of the compound effect, right? Just starting out with something little and just slowly building that up over time. You can see how you can make a lot of money if you were to start with a lot higher amount. So whatever amount
Okay.
you start out with, I say before you start out with anything, you want to have the wisdom, right? Because if you don't have the wisdom, you'll lose that money, right? And if you lose the
Hmm.
money, then your hopes will go out the drain. So
Yeah.
if you want to start, I say start by buying a book, right? It's $20 book or whatever it is. Start by doing that, right?
You get
Educate
you get you
yourself.
get you get any good titles you want to recommend? The books you're referring to, maybe?
So most of the books that I read are on personal development, and I have
Okay.
a plethora of books that would be great for anybody to read. As far as how can I get to that next level to where I can achieve my goals, I can do whatever I put my mind to. So actually that's a great question too. And I would say three books. I recommend three books for you right now that are phenomenal books and pretty much cultivated the mentality that I have now.
Okay. I got it.
The first book is The Law of Success by Napoleon Hill. It's called The Law of Success. It talks about 15 laws that govern success, right? And
Okay.
I started, just to give you a little back history on, because this was the first book that I truly read when I started trading, is because if I wanted to become successful in trading, I felt like I need to understand the laws of success, right? What does it mean to be successful, right? What does it mean to, go out here and actually do things with my life and with my time? The
Right.
second thing, the second book that I would recommend is called The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy. That book is a brilliant book. It talks about how essentially the small inconsequential things determine your life, right? You might not be able to see it now, but those small little acts of going to the gym, reading books, or whatever you're doing right now, 2 years down the line, those will come
Make it
out to
happen.
fruition, right? And you will see how either your life went toward the goals that you want or went away from it, right? It's all because of the small, inconsequential little acts that we do in our day-to-day life. And the last book that I would
Okay.
recommend is, let me think. I would recommend Think and Grow Rich. That's that's
Okay.
also by Napoleon Hill as well. Um,
Okay.
that book is going to change your life. It's going to pretty much let you know that hey, I can think and become rich with my ideas, with the things that I already have, the abundance I already
Okay.
have, right?
Okay. Okay. All right. So just to clean up a little bit real quick, we're going to do some technical cleanup because I don't know if you're touching something or you're rubbing something, but every time you move it, it can be heard. So if you got some
Okay.
paper you're playing it, you can hear it. So just so you know, so stop making the popping noises in the background because it does interfere with the sound. So um, if you can, there you go. Now it's gone. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So what I'm hearing from you is this here. It's very interesting to hear you say you start reading books not about the stock market and trading. You start reading books about how to be successful. So it sounds to me like you was training yourself on the successful route before you start getting into the market itself. You said myself, hey, let me teach myself how to be good at this here, successful, And then I can learn about this trade that I'm trying to do, which can go towards anything: playing basketball, basket weaving, driving a car, building a house. So what I'm hearing from you is that these principles can not only apply in stock market and day trading, but in any facet of your life moving forward. Is that what I'm understanding by these books that you're reading and what you're trying to accomplish?
Exactly. That's exactly what that's actually a great summation of what I'm saying. And essentially that, you know, anything like, life is pretty much what I've gathered throughout my 23 years of life is that life is just a game of chess. And to truly become a master of chess, you just have to know how to play the game. And once you know how to play the game, it doesn't matter what type of environment you're in, you still know how to play the game. So as long as you know how to play the game, success will await you.
Wow. So let me ask you a question. You're Aggie Pride, anti-Aggies. What is your major?
My major right now is mechanical engineering.
Wow. So a mechanical engineering degree, and then you're dabbing some into the Wall Street. How much time do you spend doing day trading? And then when do you do it? After hours, before hours? What is because you're in school, right? All right.
Yes.
So when do you find time to do all this stuff?
Well, it's not about finding time. It's realizing that I have 24 hours in a day. So it's really
Okay.
just using my time wisely and, understand that I'm the only person that can make myself successful. So I develop, and I've developed this with my saving habit as well. But I pretty much budget my time and my savings so that I can put forth that full amount of effort into everything that I do because I have goals and I believe that I can achieve all my goals, like, make the chancellor's list. So, I do believe that I can still make the chancellor's list while still actively trading in the stock market and foreign exchange market. So all I do is just, I wake up early in the morning around, 6 to 7 o'clock. I work out. After I work out, I read, and after I read, my mind's pretty much active at that point. So I start to just break down the tasks I have for the day, whether that's my
Wow.
schoolwork or the stock market. And essentially, I've gotten to the point now, just from helping other people out, and my progression is long as well. Although I have not made a lot of money in the past, in that past year of trading, I actually became very quite known in my environment for being a good trader, just for understanding what the market could do and whatnot. So having that in mind, I was always a good trader. Like I can always make good predictions, make good entries as well, and actually make a good amount of money. So I really don't focus too much time on trading, but I understand that anytime I hop into the market that I can make money. So essentially what I do is like around Tuesday, I trade from Monday night to Thursday night, and whatever is available to me, I just try to find that markup, at nighttime and just let it play out through the day, and as I have free time throughout the day, I might check the stock markets again just to see where it's going or where my profits may be, and I'll just decide from that.
When you say markups, what are you referring to when you say markups? What is that
So
exactly?
on the foreign exchange market, which is that's actually a great question, by the way. On the foreign exchange market, and this is one of the main differences between the stock market and foreign exchange is that, on the foreign exchange market, you really have to, pretty much have a method behind your madness. So essentially, you want to have a method to why you think the price is going to react this way or why you think price is going to react that way. You really just trying to find out the why price is reacting to this or is reacting to that. And so as you develop throughout your tenure or your time learning how to invest and trade, you will develop a trading strategy that works. So once you understand and develop that strategy that works, it's all about marking up, being present so that you can see the opportunity that is presented, and understanding from there how can I make money from this situation. So markup is pretty much, it's like practicing, right? If you think about basketball, if you go to the gym and put up free throws, 1,000 free throws, then I would go to my room, open up my laptop and just put in 100 minutes, just marking up charts. Same type of concept. It's pretty much just familiarizing yourself with your strategy. So that way, when the time comes in real time in present moment, when that time does come, you're able to react to the most profitable way.
Do you sleep?
Do I sleep? Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, I like to sleep. I like to sleep. But right now, it's not even about sleeping, right? It's really just more so about just making sure that I can put myself in that predicament so that way in the future, I can sleep
Right.
as much as I want to, right? Because right now I'm still
Right.
young, so I got energy. There's no need for me to
Yeah.
sleep that much.
Yeah. So I know you're new to this here, and hopefully you can answer this question. So I hear the term a lot of after market or after hours trading, and it impacts the market for the next day to find out when it opens. So
hmm
can you speak to a little bit about what after market, after hours, is it after hours, after market? I forget
Yeah,
which one it is.
you can say after
What does that
hours
mean?
market or
Okay.
whatever, the term. You can say
What,
after the market
what,
hours.
what does that mean?
That's actually a great question as well. And essentially, as I say this again, you know, it's a lot of people with a lot of money out there in the world, and as a retail day trader, right, as just a a normal civilian trying to trade, there's these groups called
Oh,
hedge
yeah,
funds.
yeah.
You got your banks, your investment firms. You got all these firms that have pretty much billions of dollars in
Hmm.
assets to trade. So what happens is after the market closes, right, the retail trader is not able to access that market, but right before the market closes, let's just say a hedge fund puts in an order for, let's just say, 1,000 or 100,000 shares, right? That increase in volume is going to push the price up, even though the market is still closed. You see, so although the market is closed, they put a last minute order in that pretty much drives price up, so that way, or drives price up or down, so that way they make money, and the person who got in the opposite end of that deal is losing money after hours. And
Uh,
this is just another form of manipulation that occurs, but it's just one of those things that you can benefit from it if you have the wisdom.
okay, so let's talk about a little bit about this right here, this situation with GameStop, Robinhood. Now, the hedge fund groups, they got really upset because of they lost what over $70 billion
hmm
from this GameStop alone, and they put a halt on 50 companies so that these people on this certain server would have access and do the exact same thing they did for GameStop. They got upset because they got outsmart by from a young group of people like yourself, caused them to lose money. So, in my personal opinion, what they're doing they want to control. But there was nothing different than what you guys did. You was controlling the value of the stock. And it
hmm
sounded like to me they're like, no, you shouldn't be doing that, only us. So you upsetting
Exactly.
you upsetting the market. So let the hedge fund people hedge the money either up or down. But they got outsmarted. In your opinion, do you think it was fair that they stopped the sale of 50 businesses and Robinhood said you can only buy one share of GameStop? What is your opinion on that?
That's actually a great question as well. And to answer that, essentially, um, well, from my years of just from my experience of trading, I've already known, like, in the foreign exchange market, that manipulation does occur, where your
Right,
brokers might temper with your trades, or all types of things can go in because money's being dealt, and not everybody's pretty much honest with their or transparent with their intentions of money.
right.
So having that knowledge, I already knew that something like this was potential, like the potential of that was going to happen, because again, too many people are making money, and they don't want that many people to make money because they have to pay out at the end of the day.
Right.
So Robinhood, to see what they did, I'm surprised to the fact that they were so transparent with their manipulation. But it doesn't surprise me that they did it. It just, what I'm surprised is just that they were open about it, and they just willingly stop people from trading, and that's something that has not been done in a minute or for a while. So definitely repercussions. I can definitely see Robinhood facing repercussions from that. But then to that same extent, you ask yourself, okay, well, who is the people that told Robinhood to do that? And they
The
obviously
hedge
have a
fund
lot more
people.
money. Exactly.
They,
So it's like how much justice can really be done. And that's
mm.
why I just say, count your wins, and just keep moving just move on to the next potential stock that can rise. And then when that happens again, the cycle just might like repeat itself. But in the same sense, at least now the average trader knows that, okay, my broker is not my friend. And that's
Okay,
essentially it. Your
there
broker
you
is not your
go.
friend.
Come on now. So they in the business for themselves because if they start losing money, they're gonna be cutting somebody off.
Exactly.
Cutting somebody off. Well, G, you're a very intelligent young man, and I'm glad to see you've grown into a young man. I'm glad to see you got yourself together and you decided to go to A&T, Aggie Pride. You got
Hmm.
smart. You got smart. Can't say too much about being that Kappa thing, so but still love you, still love you for it. I know your parents are proud of you because your mom speaks very highly of you often. I'm always asking about you, your sisters, and your cousins and stuff like that. So I'm glad to see where you are in your life. I'm glad that you're taking your finances seriously. I'm glad to hear that, when you're saying things like, I have a little, but I'm managing it well. Because so many people, they have a little and they figure, if I got a little bit, why I need to manage that?
Hmm.
Because it's only a little bit. But to hear you say it at 22, to hear you say, I'm going to have more. And my goal is not to have what I have, but to down the road, if I manage what I have right now, I can definitely manage more down the road. So, do you want to, say any last words to encourage others about what you're doing, and some of your own personal wisdom, before we wrap up shop here? Because I do want to thank you for your time and thank you for just the technical difficulties that we had just working with this word. Because, like I said, when you got a powerful word about finances, the devil don't want to hear it. And this is about making money. And the more we
Yeah.
make, the better off we are. So, any parting words that you want to say? Shout out to your moms, maybe your dad. So,
Yes.
just yeah.
Yes. Actually, I would love to say some words of wisdom and inspiration to whoever may be listening. Um, and I feel like I can do this best by just telling you, just going a little bit more detail in my story, and then just showing you how I got to my mentality now, and just where I plan on going further in the future. And
Okay.
that's really, I can start out with saying this point right here, just to find the abundance that you already have. And then, just be grateful for the abundance that you already have, because, God, He blesses us with life. And, life doesn't happen to us, it happens for us. So
Come
with
on
that
now.
being in mind, you have to understand that, yeah, you might not be where you want to be in life, but you're still alive. You still have things to be thankful for, right? It's so many things you can be thankful for, like when it comes to small incremental things as well. Just show God that you're aware of it, right? Show God that you're aware of all the small things and the big things too, because guess what? Law of attraction states that like attracts likes. So if you're able
Hmm.
to find the abundance that you already have, then that abundance will attract more abundance. My
Okay.
second point that I would like to say is this: you have to be willing to seek useful knowledge, right? And a lot of people say all the time that knowledge is power. Well, knowledge is potential power, right? Because you can learn a lot about everything, right? But if you're not willing to apply the things that you learn, then that knowledge would be useful. Will be useless. It would be pointless, right? So until you go out there and seek that knowledge and have the courage and the strength to apply that in your everyday life, then that knowledge would be pointless. So I say go get knowledge, but not only go get it, go apply it. Right? Apply it in your
Come on.
everyday life. Apply it to things that you don't even think that you should be applying it to, because you never know the effect that it can have in the future. And another point I would like to say is, you cannot be afraid of failure, right? And
Okay.
the fear of failure, this is something I learned, while trading, because in trading there are four fears that every trader faces, right? And I just go over them quick for you. The first one is the fear of being wrong. The second one is the fear of losing money. The third one is the fear of leaving money on the table. And then the fourth one is the fear of being right.
Ooh,
Is
okay.
it a fear of being
Wow.
right? Yeah, I think it's a fear of being right.
Wow.
Um, you
Okay.
know, so understanding those fears, right? You cannot let any of them hold you back, right? Because the only person that's holding you back from achieving your goals or achieving that life that you want to achieve for yourself, the life that you want to achieve for your family, is you, right? You're the
Okay.
captain of you're the master of your
Okay.
fate, captain of your soul. So in that sense,
Okay.
you have to be willing to try, right?
Okay.
Denzel Washington said it best: if you're not failing, you're not trying, right? You have to
No,
be able
come
to
on now.
learn. You have to be able to
Come
learn
on.
from your lessons, right? Because without failure, you'll never be able to have progression. And without
Okay.
progression, you never be able to reach your goals. So in
Okay.
that sense, you have to be comfortable with failure. Be comfortable with it, right? Because you're gonna feel it everything in life. You're gonna feel it in so many
Wow.
different ways that you're gonna be astonished, like, wow, I keep failing. But then once you become comfortable with failure, right, you start to accept it. You say, you know what? I don't even care if I fail at this. Guess what? I'm gonna keep trying until I get right.
Okay.
I'm gonna keep trying until
Okay.
I get better.
Okay. Okay.
So, you have to really want it, right? And one of the last points I would like to just leave with y'all is just pretty much you have to find your why, right? Why do you do anything in life? And that is really one of the most important things that I've discovered in my early years of life. A perfect analogy to this would be, if there's a burning building and there's a plank and you're on one building and on the other side, across from you, it's a plank that pretty much connects the two buildings together, and the other building's on fire, right? If I gave you $20 and say walk across the bridge or walk across the plank to the burning building, you say no, right? But if your child was over there, you would do it for free, right? Because you have a why.
Mm-hmm.
Think about it. You have a
Mm-hmm.
why. So
Okay.
take that same type of mentality and apply it to your goals, right? Why do I want this goal? Why do I want to achieve this goal, right? Why do I want to do this? And once you find your why, it doesn't matter about the how, right? Let go of the how, right? That's when you start to walk by faith and not by sight. You have to let go of the how so that you can say, you know what? I'm okay with however this comes to be because I know that it's going to come to be, right? I know that this
Okay.
is in my future, so I don't have to worry about the how because I know why I'm doing it, right? I know why I'm
Okay.
doing everything that I'm doing to get me to where I want
Okay.
to be.
Okay. Boy, you sound like you 32, 42, 52, 62. One of those twos and they're not 22. You sound like an old man, old soul. Sound like you a deacon in the church. You about to put a collar on and start preaching, boy. I tell you, boy, you about to put it down. Well,
Yeah,
gee,
I would just like to say thank you again for having me on the show. Thank you to my parents for birthing me. Thank you to my sisters for being that support. Thank you to my nephew, my cousins.
all
Because at the end
right.
of the day, I'm only it takes a village to raise a child. So I'm just not
Talk
the
about it.
collective. Everything that I've been through in my life. Whether it's ups or downs, I got to
Okay.
understand that everything happens for a reason, and I'm just truly
Yes, it
grateful for
does.
everything because I know where I'm going, right? And all that had
Okay.
to happen so that I can be in this type of mentality I'm in now.
Okay. Well, G, I want to thank you for joining the show today. We really do appreciate your a wealth of knowledge. And if someone wants to reach out to you to contact you to be the mentor, boy, you're moving around again.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry.
That's that young energy right there. You just can't sit still. How can they reach you? Do you have a website? Do you have an email address? Yeah. If you want
Yes.
to give it out, you can. It's up to you.
Yes, I have so I'm not on social media at the moment. So you can just contact me at my email address, which is GMHARDY at Aggies, which is AGGIES .NCANT. No, so .NCAT.edu.
I'm gonna go ahead and put this in this here group thing real quick. And before we leave, let me make sure that's it. So you got GM Hardy at Aggies,
Yep,
right?
at
Dot
Aggies.NCAT.edu.
NCAT.edu. There it is, right there. It's right in
Yeah.
the chat room. So there you go. So we're going to wrap this up. But before we leave, I want to say thank you again, G. Thank you for inviting your friends to come on and listening. Thank you for the questions that was asked, and thank you for being able to answer those questions. It's been a very enlightening conversation that I had with a young man like you. Haven't seen you very much, but I know you very well. So if you if you want to continue to follow Gifted Generations on more podcasts, you can find us on Podbean under Financeology 101. We're also out there on the Gift on the Facebook. It's Gifted Gen LLC. You can also find us on Instagram, which is gift.gen, and also YouTube. You can just hit the search button, type in Gifted Generations LLC, you'll find us. And then, of course, our webpage, which is Gifted Generations LLC.com. And don't forget that dash. You go on our website. This will be posted in the next few days. We got to clean up some background noise. We also have a blog on our website that people begin to interact so we can understand the things that they want to ask us about, what they want to see next and hear next. So go out there and comment and follow us and see and let us hear from you. last but not least, I would want to promote my next person that's going to be coming on Monday. It's going to be Coach OG, a dynamic author, and also she's coaching before you get married about certain things in life, about finances and other things, of course, not just about finances. She told me that today she's doing a multitude of things to teach people how to before they get married, that path they're going to go down to make sure they're heading down the right path. That's going to be 8 o'clock on Monday. On 8 o'clock on Monday. So please join us at 8 o'clock on Monday to hear her speak on her favorite subject. And so, with that being said, G, I want to thank you again. Thank you for your time and your patience for the technical difficulties that we have. You've showed a lot in your youth, your young youthness, that you do have patience. And I think trading stocks can be related to also to finances too. It's a
Hmm.
two-part thing. I mean, those two things intertwine. And I love the things you said for the full fears. Can you very quickly just tell me what those full fears were again? Because I was writing them down. You was talking, boy. You said
Yes.
so.
The four basic fears are, the fear of being wrong, the
Okay,
fear of
wrong.
losing money, the
Okay,
fear of leaving money on the table,
okay.
and the last one, which I'm gonna have to, I'm gonna have to just make sure I check this one again, but I'm pretty sure it's just the fear of being right.
Wow. Money, money, money. I'll tell you. Well, with that being said, we want to thank everyone who joined us tonight on the Financeology 101. Got started a little bit late, but you'll be hearing from us again next week at 7 o'clock on a different topic. We're gonna go back to the strategy of talking about budgeting and stuff. We took a little time, a little breakaway. It's a little bit long this week because with the news going on, you're going to hit the hottest topic that's out there. And this week was GameStop and the stock market. And this young man said, "Hey, put me in the fire. I'm ready to talk to you." So I want to say, you did very well.
Thank you.
We didn't score you very well, but you know what? You came out alive, and you actually gave us some information that we can use and go back and apply these things, not only in finances, not only in as far as stock markets, but life in general. And that's from a 22-year-old. 22-year-old. Hey, do not
23.
pad. Oh, my bad, my bad. He's like, I'm 23 in 4 months. I'm 23 in 4 months. So I just want to say thank you, and say thank you, and don't forget our next check-in is next Saturday at 7 o'clock. Until then, this is Elroy. This is your man. I got the skills to pay the bills. We out.
Well, thank you for tuning in to our podcast, Financeology 101. I hope you enjoyed this session and the information provided will assist you on your financial journey. Until next time, be financially engaged.